Hey guys, it's Damp. I wanted to do a follow-up video for you all on the town upgrades now that our new patch is out, 8855. I wanted to be able to do a just an update to what I still feel is the pretty much the same order for your town upgrades that you'll be doing now that they've released the update as I promised. So I'm going to go through it fairly quickly. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And hopefully this will help you. A couple changes that have been instrumental to the new advice I'm going to give you guys is that there's a lot more heirlooms dropping now. I don't know if you all notice it, but in a lot more chests you won't find as much gold. You'll find way more heirlooms instead of the gold, which will allow it actually to make, I think it actually balances the game out to be a little bit easier. But we'll run through just like the first few weeks what you want to do, and then I'll do a next set of what you want to drop, like, you know, weeks 13 through 20, probably what you're looking at as your next plan of action. So this one I'm going to focus on probably weeks like 1 through probably somewhere between 10 and 15. And the next one will be a follow-up video, which will take you through most of mid-game, and then end-game is fairly simple once you have these laid out. So top priority for your first week is you want to upgrade your stagecoach as quickly as possible. So this is obviously a game where I'm pretty much complete, but your first week, what you want to look at is upgrading your stagecoach network as far as you can. I believe it will allow you to do it up until right around and through here, 2 to 3. And as soon as you get the ability to upgrade it again, I'd say upgrade it to where it says here, increases the number of available heroes to 5. And then next you're going to upgrade your roster to 13. Those are going to be your first major upgrades for your stagecoach, which is going to cost you deeds. Now, as you're acquiring other things, you can still use it to upgrade other buildings, but I'd say my recommendation is to hold off and wait. You're going to get your stagecoach pretty much maxed out because you don't want to use all these crests. Your stagecoach is really important because our strategy relies around, as you are acquiring characters that are getting stressed, you aren't going to heal them. You're actually going to replace them. So it's important that this stagecoach network is upgraded because it's going to be your lifeblood. You always want to pull healers from here in your first few weeks as they're coming out. So just kind of keep that in mind. You always want to pull out the healers because they're going to be really your bottleneck for your first few weeks, because the occultist won't be as viable for a healer because he's going to cause everybody to bleed. You might be able to take an arbalist to offset it if you play with a really aggressive attacking party. So that's going to be the first building you really want to focus on. After that, you really want to be able to unlock at least the first level of the blacksmith. And that's going to be your weaponsmithing and your armor smithing. Furnace isn't really as important now, early in the game. Late game, it becomes important because it's a gold bottleneck. But you're first going to upgrade armor smithing, then you're going to upgrade weaponsmithing. From there, you want to upgrade at least one rank of the guild so that you can allow skill ups to rank 2. And as soon as you can, you're going to do that to rank 3. But you can keep the weaponsmithing and the armor smithing at rank 1. That's fine. Lastly, you're actually going to upgrade the Abbey and the Sanitarium. You're going to split the two because these will both use your busts. So you're going to split the two and upgrade them evenly, but don't upgrade Transept, Penance Hall, and Cloister. Pick one and upgrade it completely before you move on to the next one. And with your Sanitarium, upgrade Treatment Library 100% before you worry about Infirmary. I wouldn't say 100%. I should take that back. Upgrade it to level 3 or 4 and then do one infirmary because you will eventually need 2 people at once. Notice I didn't say anything about the tavern, the survivalist, or the nomad wagon. Don't worry about these. Nomad wagon and survivalist are really late game upgrades when you're trying to save gold. That's what they're there for. Now, with getting a lot more of the heirlooms that are going to drop now, you'll be able to upgrade your buildings much quicker than what we said previously. But your first 10 to 15 weeks, that's what you're going to focus on, and you are not going to upgrade anyone's armor unless you notice they have really strong positive quirks. So here's an example. Tough is a great one. Slugger is a great one for a melee character. Precision Striker is a great one for a melee character. Unyielding is another really good one. I mean, this guy right here, he's a stud. I mean, I don't know that I could do a lot better than these. Probably in 300 hours, this is the best hero I've ever had. So it's a really, really solid character. Those are the people you want to save to de-stress. Maybe drag them all the way to the bottom like I typically do when I start a new town. Leave them there. And then as you are swapping people out, which is done by clicking the Dismiss Hero button here, once they become really de-stressed or they have a lot of really bad quirks, or a lot of really bad positive quirks too, is another reason to get rid of them. But if you get rid of them, you can replace them with another person and drag them over, and that will allow you to swap them out. It saves you a ton of gold, because gold is the most important thing in the game. It's much more important than heirlooms. It's much more important than any particular heirloom. It's much more important even than trinkets, really, because a lot of the trinkets do you no good if you can't upgrade your character to the point where they're able to use the trinket effectively. So gold is the most important thing. Throw away the crappy trinkets to collect stacks of gold, because if you look at your trinkets when you are able to sell them, the really crappy trinkets at most are going to net you 750 gold. A stack of gold is 1500. So unless it's toward the end of the instance, you want to swap those out for stacks of gold. So that's just a quick video. That's weeks 1 through 10 and how you're going to really focus. Again, just a quick recap. Stagecoach, you want to have it to level 3 or 4. And then you want to upgrade your hero barracks to 2 slots. From there, you're looking at trying to unlock weaponsmithing first, or I'm sorry, armor smithing first, then weaponsmithing. Then you want to upgrade at least 1 level of the guild, if not 2. Then go back to maxing out your stagecoach. From, that's utilizing mostly your deeds. And as you look at your abbey and your sanitarium, you're going to balance those as you accumulate a surplus of crests, because you won't spend the busts on anything else until really late game. Because if you have an abbey, you don't need a tavern, and vice versa. Pick one or the two and go with it. But my recommendation is the abbey, because it will utilize the busts. The portraits you need for the guild to upgrade their combat skills before you get into boss fights, or they can be very, very tough. So that's a quick video. That's like weeks 1 through, we'll say 1 through 10 to 15, somewhere around in there, depending on your class, or depending on your gold situation, really. And I'll create another video which will walk you through around weeks 10 to 15 through 30 next. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hope it helped.